Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, we had a little bit of a computer glitch earlier. So if you're joining us, if you've been holding on, my apologies for seemingly starting late at a special time that we're having the call today. Um, but y'all are in for an amazing call. We started about talking about the empowerment to your best life, and again, the catalyst for change that Tracy is.
Mhm.
So for anybody who's really ready to step into a world where healing meets empowerment, where energy, mindset, and soul collide to unlock your high potential, Tracy Clark is your go-to. She really leads from heart and embodied presence and achievement. And today's call is going to be phenomenal as we dive into the four pillars of manifestation. We're going to talk about what's coming up in the next 3 years and how we can really empower ourselves to navigate this at the highest potential because we're ready to. We're going to talk about the difference between your mindset and your frequency and so much more. We'll get into Q&A. And it's with that, Tracy, that welcome back to Be on the Ordinary Show.
Always happy to be here. Always such a pleasure. And like you said, the energy's high today, and there's just so much going on in a good way. So I'm just glad everyone's here. We got it worked out because this is really also, that this is a prime time for everybody listening to create. Like as you get to this end of this kind of November, December into January, your perfect time to create what you
Mhm.
want. Oh yeah.
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 So let's talk about the energies that are navigating on because you and I got on the call
Yeah.
and you said that the energies are shifting and there's
Yeah. Yes.
I would say there's an elegance in the energy that is arising, but it's tell us more about this this period of our capacity to create right now.
Yeah, it's literally stronger than I have ever seen. Every year we get stronger and stronger because we become more aware. There's more people on the planet that are in alignment with us, creating and wanting something new, right? So the more we have behind us, the better we know we can also create. And I was saying to you earlier that a couple of weeks ago, and I had to have a surgery that from when I was a child, one more, and I knew they had to do that. And anyways, and we had been talking about it. This work is amazing. I will tell you, because he was like, one, I can't believe like the surgery was half the time I thought, because your body is pristine. Like, I don't know what you do, girl. He kind of knows, but it's like, I'm telling you guys, you are powerful. I love it. This is
Mhm.
what I love about it. Right. So it was something from my childhood. Anyway, so when I was under, and they're very, very clear that this was our time to really, really focus on your frequency, what you want, what you're getting to that end goal, and how we get there quicker. And so I started applying, basic principles that they were telling me, and I'm creating all things that it's happening quick. It's happening to the clients. It's happening really fast. So this year right now, you can really see as catapulting us over these next 3 years as we will start to move into more signs very quickly of more peace. So it can feel a little jumbled out there, but if you stay out of that noise and stay focused on what is it that you want, and it's not selfish for everyone listening, this, you guys are awake or you wouldn't be here, but it's like, and you get it. It's like, it's not selfish to say, this is exactly what I want, but I got to remove my doubt and I got to be really convicted. You have to be convicted like never before. They were so clear when I was under the table. Like I have these things when I go, sometimes I'm like, oh, do I want to come back? I'm having a good time over here. Okay, I'll go back. Okay.
I'm glad you came back. I'm glad you came back.
Yeah.
Now, you said something that's very key, and I really want to distinguish it and be very specific about it
Yeah.
because you said we had to focus on our frequency.
Hmm.
And earlier we pointed what's the difference between mindset and frequency.
Yeah.
And there's also maybe mindful intention versus it's I'd love for you to map it out so that we can be really clear of our capacity to carry something that goes beyond just following a process in our mind.
Yeah, we hear processes all the time. And what happens is people will get stuck. If you're getting stuck in your head, or it has to be this certain way, or you can hear the things and always adapt because you have different frequencies, and your body will hear it differently depending on what level you're at on a frequency. But here's also something that I say the easy way. I like to give people the easy way because so is a frequency. You'll know you're in the right frequency when you feel that excitement, that overjoyed, that peace, that like the positive feelings. right? That always tells you your frequency. So if you're asking to create something and all of a sudden you're like, I don't know, because based on past, this happened. Now all of a sudden you dropped your frequency, and that's going to, as you know, cycle the old. But if you can start to move yourself into, and that's where we use some of these processes, right? If we move it and we're getting into that frequency state, means you can feel a shift in your energy. You feel the shift and the elevation. And it doesn't have to be from here to here, just a little. As soon as you feel the little bit, grab that. And I
Mm.
say to people, sometimes the best thing is what find the most, if you can, the time in your life where you're like, oh my gosh, like I won that or I did this. Get that energy moving when you're looking at the end result. Because when you're moving that frequency, all of your vibration will start to change. And we know it's not really, your mindset will come after the frequency the more you do it. And then the frequency hits with what you want. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I got all these opportunities coming, and you didn't have to do anything. You just got to get the frequency in alignment with what you want. And that's that. You got to feel it. So when we're getting into, a lot of people get into mindset or, affirmations, and I'm not saying you can't have them, but is the frequency behind it, because it's very different going, if you take the, oh, I am overflowing with wealth and prosperity, you're like, I am overflowing with wealth and prosperity, and you're feeling it and you're excited versus, okay, I'm overflowing with wealth and prosperity. And you're just saying that as you're walking down the
Mhm.
street, the frequency will drop. So if you can look at a meter, like, when you do like EMF readers and stuff and they go like this,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Look at that frequency and say, what is the highest you can get to? And if you have a doubt and you can uncreate that very quickly, you can override it into the higher frequency. And that's where the creation is. But because the planetary frequency is high is going so quickly, and then we've got a global of all of the souls like us that are coming together, helping each other. We're all waking up and we're having fun. You can see this year over the next 3 years, it starts to go like this, where it pulls down that frequency that have been riding the planet like 20, 25 years ago when we all woke up, and you're like, oh, nobody knows what we're talking about, right? So now, from if you look at 25 years ago to now, well, now in the next 3 years, we are going to be, it's like they keep showing it's an image of like a rocket ship. Like it's just going to go really fast,
Wow.
really
Wow.
fast.
It's, I really appreciate this conversation about frequency and the acknowledgement of it, because I think I know one of the barometers is that when you're in that frequency state and become aware of how to turn up the thermostat and turn it down.
Yeah.
We really become adept at it the more we practice with it. It's
Yeah.
not just the focus on one area of our life that changes, it's a whole frequency shift that actually impacts everything simultaneously.
And it's also having that recognition of how much you've changed and what frequencies are coming in. If I give a quick example, when obviously, if something wants to come in, it tries to come in at a lower point. So within the 24 hours that I come out of the surgery, and I really couldn't function from belly button up, right? Like I had to learn to be a really good asker for things,
Mm.
but also it was all noticed. Great care. However, somebody from outside my realm tried to attack me through my husband. And right away, and I knew what was going on. So in the past, I might have reacted to that person because when it's family and stuff. So I was like, whoa, and I didn't. I was like, not my, I kind of say that new devil, new love, not taking it, not touching it. And he cut it off and dealt with it right away. So I knew my frequency had changed a lot because I didn't even have that one little ounce of, because it's always a little harder when it's family or something, right? So it was like one little ounce. So what I say to people is notice how quickly you're moving a distraction out, because every time your frequency changes, you can be, now I'm not saying that has to happen all the time, but you can be met with something like that where they kind of want to derail you or move you off. So once you start to catch it more, you're going to create more, because then all of a sudden the universe goes, oh, they're not even bothered by that. Off they go.
Right.
Yeah. It's really good to learn.
What are some practical tools or awarenesses that you can give to the audience today about
Yeah.
being aware of the frequency, how to choose and be in relationship with that which is a really benefit to them, and also how to notice I know the disturbances sometimes we can feel, but
Mhm.
how can we maybe tell more quickly when it used to be a blind spot, but now we're in much greater awareness of it?
Yeah. So if you notice something like that comes in, one of the things I still do is I still do my old tool. It's simple. It's like, okay, I say thank God, you say universe, divine, love, whatever, reset, let go. I still tap the heart and pull it down.
Mm,
The other thing I would say to people that's really actually it's fun is if you can set your phone to have an alarm every hour on the hour, if you can, if you're busy, ideally you want to start catching these right away. But if you can in the hour, you have to, you're like, did anything try to kick me off? Or was there something I noticed? And what you'll notice by doing this is then you'll be able to catch it every half an hour, every 15 minutes. But even if you get it within that hour and you're like, wait a minute, maybe I just need to cut some energy off with that person. Or I noticed I walked into this room. Oh, wait, that's not my energy, right? Like, oh, I was feeling really good. This is what will happen. So the reason I say set your alarm on your hour is exactly so you can actually now bring your awareness. You're the priority. And that's step one. Because as soon as you see it, you're like, okay, what am I doing there? The next thing that I like to say to people is, what is when you bring your energy back, like I said, what's that excitement where you're like, wow, yeah, like I'm
mm,
so excited. And I know it sounds a little funny, but if you can get your arms, get that stance where you're like up, back, down. I was a dancer. They
mm,
teach you that in dancing, right? But it's like that power stance that everyone knows you feel better. And when you start to move that, so when you move that energy and you're coming through and you're bringing the energy through, you're like, I am, what are you declaring? Go back to that statement, like, I am an overflow of wealth. You might say that, but when you feel it, what are you actually also seeing into to change the energy from whatever this distraction was to where you're going? So it's actually the more you do it, the more it becomes effortless. Because if you can do this in the morning for half an hour before you get out of bed and a half an hour before you go to bed, it will be a game changer of how you do it in the day because it's so important. We get so used to and conditioned to go through your day and kind of, you remember in the old days, I don't know if you had this, John, I did, where you get home and go, how did I drive home today? Like you don't even
yeah. Oh, yeah.
remember, right? You're so unplugged. So by putting on a simple reminder, and then I always like I just use the reset tool. That's basic 101 before and every different level of energy. You might have different tools or different things. We always have different tools. But remember, if anything, too, people use it your way. Like
Mm.
use the words that feel good for you, not what you're doing, John or I. Like it's a game changer. Yeah.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that's really empowering. And I know you share so much more in the way that you teach, and it's just it all
Yeah.
builds one upon the other. And I know we have great testimonials
Oh yeah.
from your audience that always comes in, but y'all, it's like really, I hope y'all are paying attention. And if maybe you glossed over kind of like that driving thing, it's like I was here, but I wasn't. Don't worry, the replay is up, but
Yeah.
just take a deep breath, get in our body, and let's continue here because there's a lot that's going to be shared today. I do want to get into Q&A a little bit later because I want the
Hmm.
audience to
For
experience
sure.
just the wisdom that you tap into. But let's talk about these four pillars of manifestation.
Yeah, there's four that they're so key, and I'm always talking about this and teaching this. And again, I've done a lot of trial and error. I think you have too over the last 25 years of waking up and having it
Yeah.
be our own transformation. So I like to give you guys some of the little hacks. But
Mm,
these are the four pillars that I live and breathe by. And I'll go through them quickly. If you want to break down, we can. But one is faith. And the reason I say faith, my definition is trust, no believe. There's something out there greater than you. So your connection, I say to the God of your understanding, is your sacred connection. That's your best friend, however you want to look at it. I see it as an energy of love, but never let anyone tell you that it's not the way you want it to be. And it'll change for you over time.
mm,
So faith. But faith also means you have to have no doubt. Because when you have doubt, you're not having confidence. When you have
yeah.
doubt in something, your confidence is eroded. So faith is number one of the pillar. Number two, I always say it's the ask, or some people, I don't. sometimes I'll say, well, it's how you, people say it's how you pray. No, it's how you talk to the universe. So, how do you speak to the universe? How are you talking to spirit? So, you're connecting and with conviction, right? With conviction. Very, very important because then you have to have your conviction, which then gives you your actionable step.
Mm.
So we all know, somebody asked me the other day, here's an example. Like, they're like, Tracy, you're 54 years old. What's the key to de-aging? Like, do you use all these lotions and potions? And like, not really. Half the time I forget to wash my face. Like, what's the however, I looked a lot older when I was younger, but when I got convicted of the energy that I wanted to release from the stress and the trauma, what happens is you'll gravitate to maybe a product you like, or maybe you will gravitate to, now when that stress is released, the actionable step is, oh my God, I feel like I really want to go walking, or I want to go exercise, or I'm going to fast, or I'm going to do whatever. And so when you get convicted and you ask and you move the energy, the actionable step becomes easy, and it actually becomes
Mm.
quite effortless. If you can remember those four, you can say, usually when I ask people, they're like, I'm really weak in faith, or I'm really weak in actionable step. Like, they're like, I'll talk to the universe. Well, I feel convicted, but I'm like, look at all three and say, where are you? And you can use it in the quadrants of your life. So you can look at the love of self, your connection to spirit, your love relationship with friends, family, lovers, your money, and your career. Like, really expand them and you'll see which ones you're weak in. Yeah.
I find that consistently in our community, it's the action step
Hmm.
that stops a lot of people, and I would really appreciate it if you drop some wisdom and
Yeah.
awarenesses of working with clients that have taken steps and how dramatically their lives have improved for the better.
Yeah, I spent 2 hours teaching on this last week. I was just on actionable step. Funny you're
Yeah.
asking that. And what they found was, when we went back and dissected it, it was the doubt, but it was also a lot of the monkey mind of going, well, if I do this route, this outcome, this route, this outcome, this. I said, but that's only the energy, which I do this when we're like, we need to uncreate the energy of where you were told. And it's always drills back to some kind of failure in the body. It's like,
Mhm.
where did you feel there would be a failure, or where did you feel that you would be maybe laughed at? A lot of people don't want to be laughed at. And I
Mhm.
use this example, like my little one, she's, well, not little, she's 28, but she's a very, very, very big influencer in the documentary world. And she says to me, well, mom, the more cringe, the more people like, even though she's, I'm like, yeah, we don't live like that, but you go
Yeah.
for it. You're a younger generation. But the reason I use that is, what she did is, she's very much into energy. She understands everything we're talking about. And she just said, I'm going to try the things that I know I feel good at, regardless of what anyone says. And then it just led to millions and millions of people. So this is what it is. It's, you're being tested to take a leap of faith. And
Mm.
I have seen this over and over and over, when people say, okay, if I'm uncreating the accumulation of energy, I always say at the root of the seed, because you don't know where it came from. You can try, but maybe came from another lifetime. If you uncreate that energy and start to pull down the energy in the body of overthinking, over worrying, over analyzing, and releasing, we're kind of doing this now for everyone, releasing the state of approval. So usually the body's looking for approval. And so what I say is, we override that energy and we speak in a, okay, what's the worst? What's the worst thing? And in a lot of times as empaths, most empaths, so everyone on this call has embraced something where we're not like normal people. Like, we all know we're very different in our family units. So when you start speaking out, right, it's like, no, be quiet, or where'd you get that? Or, I don't know, like, we're considered weird or whatever. We're not. We're just using our intuition. So when we clear that, everybody listen, if you can clear that, then you can start to say, I say, what's the baby step? So an example of a woman that recently, she did this, and it was great. She was having a hard time doing her work because she didn't want her husband to know, because he would get very upset, because she's like, well, you're changing and I don't like this. And we all know, right? That's not uncommon. You're changing, you need
Mhm.
someone to grow. So I said to her, what's one little thing you could do that would make you feel really happy in your house? And so I always teach how you put a bowl of salt by the door with some cinnamon. It's a wealth attractor, but it also is a cleaning. And then you throw it down the drain. She goes, I could put that by my door. Well, okay, awesome. So she put it by her door. And I'm like, this is how you align your husband. And she was like, okay. So she could step more into who she is because she's tired of hiding who she is. She wants to be around everyone and just be, this is who I am. I love this work. I love this energy work. I love speaking to spirit. So we had to do the baby step. And then the body starts to feel calm. And then we aligned into the next step. Does that make sense to people?
That, yeah, yeah. And I'd like to go a little bit
Yeah.
further into it because there's also these times that sometimes we get into taking the small steps, but they're not really steps.
Well, and that is also where I say to people, you've got to check in. If you're checking in every hour and the hours, like I would ask yourself truthfully, where is the doubt in this I'm not getting? So I always
Mhm.
say, when there's something you don't like, you say truthfully, what's good about this I'm not getting? You can ask yourself that way. But when it's doubt, because it is always doubt, it's like truthfully, where's the doubt in this that I'm not getting? It's how you speak with spirit. And so I can see what I need to release.
Mhm.
And usually what people will come back and say to me, they're like, wow, I realize like my friend's not really supportive of what I do. They said something.
Mhm.
There's why you have doubt right
Right.
there. So they were like, so they'll pull back. And then it's like, what do you want to do? So I also say to people to change your frequency and to remove doubt for actionable steps. I live with notepads. I don't know if you do, but I live with scribble pads. And the reason I do is because when you get an idea or you want to change something, I say to people every day, take the 5 minutes. What do you want your life to look like, for one? Right? You got to answer that question. What do you want your life to look like? Two, who in your field do you believe, I'm not saying you believe wouldn't support that? You better
Mm.
write them down. And then three, how convicted are you to actually want to go after that? Because when you're very convicted, you don't even have to worry a lot of times with the actionable steps. You got to stop looking behind you,
Mhm.
move forward, and the opportunity presents, and then you can start doing even those steps as well.
Mm. That's beautiful. You're reminding me of a vision that I had years ago, and I was going through some big changes, and there was a lot of shifting that was happening. And in this particular lucid dream, it's like all these horses were running in the field. They were running, and I was like in the lead horse, and I just kept hearing it's like keep running, keep running, keep running. If there's horses that are supposed to keep up with you or pass you up, let them, but keep running.
Yeah.
But a horse never looks behind to see who's behind because if it does, he's gonna fall.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Amen.
like
That's it.
like follow that. It's just
Yep.
that whole message from spirit and
Yep.
in this form of a message with horses was so powerful. And I
And it's
believe
true.
it's so relevant.
It's so relevant to now, because the problem that we get into as humans with creating is people are like, well, I had this with a lady. I posted a video today, and I'll give you this example. So we always teach on the energy of health, wealth, and intuition, right? And then other things. And so because they all connect. And she knew, so we were talking about the energy of money in this class and gold, silver, whatever. And she said to me, she goes, man, I was so afraid to jump, but this gold bar I found is actually going to help me pay this off. She goes, but
Mm,
I knew it. I could feel it. But I was so consumed in the old way and the old way of doing things that I
mm,
blocked myself. She goes, no more. I'm done. Because now I see I was in my own way. I'm finished. So she's actually got finished. And that thing, but I said, look, you did do a step which
mm,
helped you move this. So now you can build on the step. So she was beating herself up about the old way and looking behind her. And I said, no, 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 no. You're now going to actually, you did a step. Now you see it was for you the right thing. And now you know where it's going. You've done the education. And I said, because now the energy is really strong in you. And she's so convicted now. Like she's moving lights because she's convicted. And
mm,
again, you're right. If we keep going, well, I don't want to do this investment, or I'm afraid to do this based on a past experience,
mm,
go to the same. Thank you, God. You say universe divine. I need to uncreate. I do like this because it actually does spin in the energy. I'm uncreating that accumulation of energy, connect it, say what it is that you just acknowledged at the root of the seed, wherever it is, and just collapse the energy through. Then override and just speak in the authenticity and the conviction. So I usually like to tap the heart because your heart drive is going to give you the information, because it is so, like, right now we can't go backwards, but look at how many times they're like, well, in history and in the past. No, 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 no.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
creating something totally new.
I so appreciate that. Y'all, we're going to get into Q&A in a little bit. So type your question into the chat box if you have one. If you want
Yeah.
to ask Tracy a personal question,
Woohoo.
raise your hand. We'll get into that. And of course, we're getting a special offer here in a little bit. Something
Yeah.
that I appreciate that you bring in, and again, you carry it. This isn't just, well, maybe if you use this, it's like you embody this, but
Hmm.
you work with commands
Oh,
in your
oh yeah,
vocabulary.
I do. Like, I command the authenticity. I'll command the new energy. And I'm like, thank you, God, I command that. And I always move. I always say to people, it's like, if I say, when you get up in the day, the first thing you should be doing is, it's not that, like, dress. So when this sounds, I did this, I taught on this last week. I said, get dressed in the day. Like, you are going to go and just, you're winning the
Mhm.
party. Like, if I don't wear leggings outside of my house, I wear leggings when it's at late at night or I'm going to work out. You will not see me in a pair of leggings at work, and I work from
Mhm.
home, because that doesn't make me feel good and strong. And I
Yeah.
know it's something different, but guys, if you do this, just, and you don't have to do anything fancy, doesn't have to cost you much. And then you put your shoulders back and you're like, thank you, God, I am commanding this energy into my space. Now you're feeling convicted. And when you're doing that, when you're like, I just do an easy one. I am overflowing with wealth on all levels and layers. And I am so grateful I do, because I already have that now and I'm commanding that in. You can feel the difference of the vibration. Use your words. And people would ask me this all the time. Do I have to say it out loud? I'm going to tell you guys, yes, now you do.
Mm.
Now, if you're walking down the street or you have people around you, I'll say it in my head. I'm getting convicted. I'm doing it. And so do my clients. But if you are at home or in your car, get convicted, because your voice, your tone will change your frequency, and you will see where you have doubt. And you're like, thank you, God, I command this into my body. I command to see this energy, or I command to see where my doubt is and show me the truth about this I'm not getting.
Mm. So before we get into live Q&A, into a
Yeah.
special offer,
Yeah.
I would really appreciate it if you would speak to those people that may be listening on the call or on the replay that have an issue with commanding energy.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And I did it first too. Guys, I couldn't even say the word God until about 6 years ago. And I've been awake for 25 years. Like, I was pretty much an atheist when I woke up. So for people listening, and then I had to say universe, then I realized, whoa, 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 wait a minute. It's all this beautiful energy of love. We have it inside of us. So when I changed that perception, I could say it. Now, when people say they have an issue with commanding something, it's because there's this, it's very tied to religion. It really is. And it's like, you've got to bow down. But I'm going to tell you something that I've shown after multiple near death experiences and actually flatlining. What I learned on the other side was, we walk together. So we can command and speak what we like, and we get the energy. There's no hierarchy between anybody or anything. But there's been this belief system, if you look, like, oh, this is the hierarchy that gives you permission. So if I command something, then I'm being rude, I'm being selfish, and you're not. And so I want to leave that with an energy. You can take it when you're ready. But if I can tell you, for the thousands of people that I've seen use it, and myself and all the clients, it's a game changer,
Mhm.
because now it's a conviction, it's a confidence that you're working together. There's no disrespect. So we got to uncreate that disrespect from those authoritative bodies. Yeah.
It's powerful and it is a game changer and
Yeah.
it's a worthiness that arises. And if
Yeah.
I'm to be poetic about it,
Yeah.
you're kings and queens that are emanations of God.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course you have the authority to
Mm-hmm.
command. You're speaking the language of creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when we
you're bringing it
command.
into life, right? You're
It's
commanding it into real life. You're commanding and speaking that through, which is it's so important. And go back to again the when I say conviction and how you're speaking. If there's a weakness in what you're asking for, you got to find the doubt. You got to just be like, "Oh my God, I already have
well,
that
well,
now."
that's speaking frequency rather
Yes.
than being in mindset.
100%. And the
Yeah.
mindset stuff is just it's going out the window because it just keeps you locked into avenues versus flow. Because you do not, when you're really in commanding and conviction, you trust, like you gotta trust it's already done.
Hmm.
And you've heard that, but it's a development for me and you. We've been developing this over 25 years. And I will tell you guys, I live and breathe this each and every day, just like you do, John. Like
Hmm.
everything I say, my whole community will tell you I'm an open book. Like when I'm doing calls and stuff, I live it and breathe it myself.
Yeah.
So what I tell you, I do. And if something changes, I tell you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important also for me to note that when we get into frequency rather than mindset, and mindset, we can really fragment what it is that we're trying to receive, and we'll
Yeah.
get a breadcrumb thinking that it's everything. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
satiated for a while and we tend to go into habits. It's like the millionaires that win
Yeah.
or like the lottery winners that can hold on to the money. It's
Yeah.
because they can't hold the frequency of what they were actually doing, or they get to glimpse it but then
Yes.
it's not satiating anymore, and then we get
Yeah.
into lack again. When
A
we
hundred
hold the
percent.
frequency and eliminate the distortion, it becomes embodied, it becomes part of us, and the fragmentation will notice it immediately and know that it's actually taking us away from where it is that we really want to go.
100%. Yeah, it's so true. And that's why so many people they'll get a blip and they're like, why did I've had people say that. I had one lady, she won the lottery 3 times, and somebody said to her, like, why do
Wow.
you keep winning and you do well? And she's like, because I just know it's mine and I know what I'm doing. And she had the frequency, right? Of I know what I'm doing. And she knew where she wanted to go. She was a big supporter of some charity. She knew she allocated it. She was very clear. But the other people, I'm like, well, they hit a blip in the frequency and then it
Hmm.
drops. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I just gave away everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a guy come to me. He actually had won a couple $1 million and he lost it all in a year. And he said, why? And I'm like, and
Yeah.
I talked to him that one time and I said, well, this is why. And I tell him, you hit the frequency and then you had all these other energies that came in, right? And they all wanted your money and you didn't know how to say no. He's like, yeah,
Yeah. And
he didn't know how to say no.
this isn't hard. This is awareness and putting it into practice, into actionable steps and how we are creating our lives and being aware of it. None of this is rocket science, even though we can explain it
Yeah.
through quantum physics and science, but that's just explanation. It's not living it, right?
Science, I always say, is I used to be a really big science junkie around this when I first woke up because
Hmm.
I didn't believe. I'm like, I had too much crap in my life. There's no way. Like, I was really in that state of mind, right? And then when I was able to be on a film with scientists, and I was like, "Hmm, okay, I want the science." And then I realized science is kind of a snapshot of what we've already been through. And then
Yeah.
you just walk away from it and create.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can
Amazing.
keep you in a loop too, guys. So be aware, use it to have some explanations, but be aware that you, and this is probably my hardest reality. I don't know for you, John, for everybody listening, was when you hear people say you're the creative, your reality, everything you've walked in, you created. Oh, I used to hate that when people would say that. Because especially when you're a child and you've gone through a
Yeah.
lot, but I was like, there's no way. And then when you realize you are and you're convicted with that, well, then it flips really quick. And that's where you start to create more in your life. So if you're
Yeah.
still feeling that, that's okay. We just got to clean that out a little bit more because that's a hard one to swallow.
It's a hard one to swallow, but then it gets to flip into I am grateful for everything that has been created in my life. And it
Yeah.
does, it goes through an evolution of it's not
Yeah.
meant to point and shame or to make you the perpetrator of you. It's
Yeah.
just a cycle of awakening that we go through. And eventually we start getting more and more into
Yeah.
look at what's being gifted to me in this lifetime over and over and over again.
For sure. And if anybody had things that happened to you when you were young, because lots of people have a lot of young trauma, I just want to
Yeah.
say that if you're going, there's no way I created that. And maybe I can give you just a quick example. When I was 5, I was kidnapped. I had a gun in my head, and people would say, how did you forgive? What did you do? How did you how did you come over that? Like, you didn't create that. And I said, but I did, because I passed out. And it was after that incident that I started to see, and good, bad, ugly. I started to see the sensory system change. Everything changed. I just thought I was then just a weird little kid until
Yeah.
I did wake up. So I'm going to tell you, I did create it because it was my opening for the sensory system. So even if
Mhm.
you were little and things happened, I guarantee you there's something huge as a blessing for you to take away. So don't forget that.
Yeah, I agree. And in those circumstances, if we become aware of grace in
Mm-hmm.
those circumstances and go into grace rather than to shame, blame, guilting, and anything else, just
100%.
tune into those of grace. It enlightens something within our heart and our soul and our minds that really sets us free. Um,
100%.
Tracy, let's go into some Q&A. And we'll get
Yeah.
into a special offer here in a little bit as well.
Sure. Oh,
But
love that.
Rosemary, let's start with you. Welcome to today's call.
Rosemary.
Hi, good day, good day.
Good
Thank
day.
you for both of you. I appreciate what you're doing. Um, yesterday I had this, I've been working on things a lot, but yesterday I opened my email and had this bill come in, which I wasn't expecting.
Mhm.
And the feeling of lack or whatever that is overwhelmed me so much. It surprised
Mhm.
me how much emotion took over my body. And I was almost parallel, no, parallel,
Paralyzed?
Paralyzed. Yeah, yeah.
that word
Paralyzed?
too,
Yeah,
about it
yeah,
until I could work
yeah.
around, try to find out how I could have this bill dismissed. And after a while working with it, it subsided.
Mhm.
And it just surprised me how strong that was. And I was wondering if it's mindset, frequency, or the history of, the Akash kind of thing that still
Yeah.
keeps that frequency going in me.
Yeah, you've also been working on, okay, this is interesting. You've also been working a lot on releasing, and they're saying the word lack, right? You've been working a lot on,
Mhm.
actually you've been paying attention to it.
Yes.
There's something that I saw happen in the last 3 months, okay? And it looks like you're also in this wavelength. For a lot of people that have been working on releasing this lack vibe, and it's usually a lot of empathic people, right? Because we were taught a lot of old belief systems that don't really work. And they've been cleaning out a lot over this last 3 months, cleaning out where unexpected bills, unexpected frequencies that have come in, because it's cleaning out to prepare for a new door, a new level. You can see you've been focusing, and you're doing very well. You're focusing stronger on the overflow. So you must have hit something in the last 6 or 8 months where you've been focusing more on the overflow in your life. And so that's why it looks more like a clean out than it does, what did I do to create this? Now, this is a harder energy.
Hmm.
This I'll tell you, because a lot of times we get something that's unexpected and we'll go to, how did I create this, or why did this come to me in my body, versus the stronger reaction you had of, oh, this is like I say it's like crescendos of letting go. So have you ever had like a bad, when we have bad relationships or bad work, and then all of a sudden it's that crescendo come in, you go, man, I thought I cleaned that out. Right. And then you're
Yeah.
like, and then it goes and then you get the really good one.
I
Right.
had that the day before.
The day before. Out you go.
Yes.
Yeah, because your awareness, and we can do some correcting here. Your body appears to be becoming, it's also more sensitive to what's happening. So your intuition is growing. Your awareness to what you require is it, they show it like this, like coming back in alignment, because you're changing your boundaries with people quite a bit. And it looks like you've been doing that over the last few years. Like, you've noticed, are you getting a lot stronger with what you're allowing people to do in your life and not?
Hmm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're remolding who Rosemary is. So this is why the body also had a reaction. Now, what we can clean out, Spirit saying very quickly here, is there was a just a it's like, that's just the old mindset that's going into frequency of, is there always, I'm hoping, I'm asking if I say this right, because it's important we say it right, that to excel, there would have to be something to pull you down. So that's not true. So for you to move to a new level, we don't have to create something as a hurdle to go over at first.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to explain this correct. So what we can do is remove the accumulation and uncreate the energy of where something good comes in, you're going to be met with something negative before you can excel. Does that make sense what I'm saying there? John, do you understand what I'm saying there?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We can uncreate that right in the central nervous system in the midline, so we can start to command that energy to be really, really strong. Now, what I would say at that every hour in the hour, if you want something, I would be like, I am overflowing with wealth. And I am so grateful and thankful these bills have already been taken care of, because I already have it. It's already done.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's what I would do. And then just reset the heart and let it go. And then you'd be surprised the things people say to me. They're like, oh, so-and-so agreed to pay this and this came off. But it looks like it's a final, like more like a final release. Your body probably
Great.
won't react as much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Beautiful
Keep
report,
doing on your
Mary.
boundaries, girl. You're doing great. Don't worry about if anybody doesn't like them. Don't even get in your head on that.
Yeah.
You're doing
Thank
really
you.
well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's funny, the analogy that comes up for me as the World Series is happening here in the States is that don't be
Yeah.
afraid to step into batter's box. Know that you can hit a faster pitched ball. You've got
Yeah.
it. You've got
Except
it.
for the game last night. It went on for 2 games. It was like 20 hours.
It's actually interesting, y'all, in the manifestation, just to share another experience as Nancy will go to you next with some questions in the chat. We'll go to the special offer as
Yeah.
well. I was flying from Los Angeles back to Hawaii, and I got in super late, and my ride from the airport at 10:30 at night,
Yeah.
it just canceled out, and there's no Ubers that late. So it was like, interesting. Okay. And I knew I was gonna get a ride from the airport home. I
Mhm.
met someone on the plane who lives on the island who I haven't seen in 3 years. We hung
Wow.
out and she asked me, she goes, "Do you need a ride home from the airport?" I said, "Absolutely." And it was just that I just knew. It's like, it's easy. I wasn't stressed out about it. I wasn't calling all these people. Can you pick me up at 11 o'clock at night, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's all going to show up. It's all fine. Um,
Yeah. When you know, that's the
it's a
feeling you guys
frequency.
want.
It's just a
Yep.
frequency thing. And
Yep.
the
Yeah. That's
faith of
faith.
it.
Yeah.
Even though there's like, am I
Yeah.
walking home? I don't know. It's like, it doesn't feel like that. And adjusting along the way because we can form 5 different plans of different scenarios, but then something just like, nah, it's gonna be fine. Um, and
I love
that's
it.
a really soft command, if you will. It's meeting the manifestation in its energy.
Yep. You already know. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
all right. Anyway, I thought I'd share
Love
that
it.
because it was fun.
I
Um,
love it.
Nancy, let's go to you. Welcome to the call.
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Yes. Well, I've been studying law of attraction and manifestation for probably 25 years or so.
Mhm.
But and and I've manifested a lot of great things in my life and so forth. Um, however, I have recently kind of seen that there must be something that is still holding me back in allowing more wealth in my life again. I was with somebody else, my ex-husband, and we created a lot of wealth
Mm,
together. And then consciously, I know that it wasn't really the money that um, created all the chaos and the pain and the loss. It was pretty much the person I was with. But I have not been willing to let the wealth back in since then. I was able to get create a new relationship that's
Mhm.
wonderful, but I'm not willing to risk it this time. And I would really like to let that go. I'm not sure if there's other things that are causing that, but
Yeah, because you can see you and you said it. And so I say sometimes to you guys, when you look, you can see that the wealth is still tied for you to relationships. It's like you can have one or the other.
Mm.
And I think you can
Mhm.
feel that and you
Right.
know that. So truthfully, if you look,
Consciously, I know that's not
yeah,
true, but
no, you
but
know it's
my
not true. But so I'm
but
going to ask it this way. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off there, but I want you to
no.
ask it this way. If you looked at this relationship truthfully and honestly and said, and I bring in money. So see, what would you guys be doing if you had the money that you desired?
We would probably be more retired and be able to travel and get the assistance that we would like to have, with.
Do you talk about it as a couple?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I think
Do
he has some resistance as well, but I'm not
yeah.
sure what his is.
No, there is resistance on both. So the reason I ask is one, you guys, it's important as a couple to always dream build together and make sure that you're creating together. Because
Mm.
if you're on opposite pages, so I always say with couples when I deal with them that they start to actually talk together and see what it is that you want to dream build. And what we want to look at is every time there's that doubt, you got to start to uncreate. And we can do a lot of it now. We can uncreate that accumulation of energy. Thank you, God, at the root of the seed that you can have one or the other. And there's a lot of, I don't know what they're just showing, that family patterns and imprints that you always get one or the other. Like it's like you
Mm.
can't have two ice cream cones. You get one or the other, but you can't have two. So you can't, there's an energy that we can uncreate in your family unit that is showing that it's like you're not allowed to have it all. It's one or the other. What does that feel like when I say that?
I'm trying to think about my parents.
It can be a whole family. It
Yeah,
can be
they
growing
they
up.
grew up in the Depression
Yeah.
age, so
Mm,
they were
yeah.
teenagers at that time, and so I think
Yeah.
it affected my mom a lot worse. My dad liked to spend, and she just was always panicking about his
Mhm.
spending.
Yeah, it's one or the other, right? He's a spender, she's a saver. It's one or the other rather than the harmony of the creation.
Yeah.
So we can start to create that. So what you want to do is go back to that original, like you're resetting, letting go. But as you're going back into that space and press your body forward into the energy, when you raise the frequency and you close your eyes and you see what you and your current, your new husband are doing, you want to
Mhm.
be like, again, wow, this is it. Like we're doing
Mm.
this, and look at what you're doing, not how you get there. So when you lean into the energy, you actually pull the energy more. When we push the energy back and we're doing this, you're actually signaling to the universe to push it away. So when you come through and you uncreate that accumulation of energy and pull the energy in, like I always say, when you pull it in and you tap into that heart drive, you're commanding the frequency of, I am this because I already have that now. I am this, but I'm so grateful because I already have that now. And as soon as there's an angst or a doubt, if you can name it and uncreate it. I always spin it this way because you're signaling to uncreate. But if you can't, just ask it to go to wherever the root was, the point of creation, wherever the root, the seed, and pull it down. But you got to see, what I can see with you is there's that hesitation, because we want to remove that accumulation of hesitation. Because when you get a little bit, it's like, okay, it's going to go to pot. So
Yeah.
this is where we want to, you're
Rather
like, nope,
not.
nope.
No, rather not have it, because then I would
Yeah.
lose it again,
Yeah.
and
So-
the pain of losing is worse.
So we're not looking back. So this is the other thing I say to people when that comes up, your hand's like a knife energetically. So when that comes up in the past, like, no, I'm not taking that in. That is old. I'm moving forward. So I say to people, when you cut it like this and move it, step back and literally like turn your body, like use the body and move it. And it's like, no, I'm going forward. I'm moving forward. And doing that starts to signal that, yeah, you don't have any right here. You don't have any more dominion in my space. You're not here. Whatever you want to say, that is not who I am. Because I want to remind you one thing, Nancy, you forget, you've done a lot of law and attraction. You are not that woman anymore. You are not that woman anymore. You are a new woman. You've attracted a great partner. You have a big heart. You've got so much to offer. And I got chills saying this because they're showing me like, You got to be like, I am not that woman and I'm not playing in that energy because that has nothing to do with me.
All right.
Does that
Love
make
it.
sense? Yeah, that's
Yes.
you. That's you. Take
Amazing.
it.
I have a surprise for Nancy, and actually it's gonna serve all of us.
Mm.
So this is really cool. I actually pulled up your website.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of wording in there where y'all, anytime that we're speaking to someone else and wanting to share with them what we know, it's there because we're learning something from it as well. And I'm just going to point something out on your website. It's under the work with us. First of all, there's a heading that says new mindset, new results, frequency, then mindset, then results. Remember, frequency, frequency. But I'm going to read this to you, just a short blip. And this is for all of us. And Nancy, really receive this in your heart. You speaking to you. Take away anything on your page that says anything about camera. And I'm going to read this to you, taking away anything that has to do with camera. I just don't focus on surface level techniques. I am rooted in spiritual principles designed to help me tap into my authentic self. I combine practical skills with energy work, with shifts and intuitive guidance to help me shine my light. You wrote this. This is your message to you. Command it. You're going to command clients as you command it for yourself. I will guarantee you. The lack of finances that maybe you're hoping is going to come in through this, you become it first. Own it, and you will find that the frequency of that is going to align with what is in the highest for you. And it could be a ton of money. It could be a better relationship. It could be freedom. It's less anxiety. You don't have to know
Amen.
what it is, but be aware that it's right there for you, and it's going to enrich your life in ways that you couldn't even imagine. It's right there. You have it. You have it. So amazing. You may want to take Tracy's special offer because it's going to take you deeper into it and ignite that knowing. But you've got it here, love. Congratulations. You're like tapping on the door, which is amazing.
When you were saying just removing the camera, I wouldn't be doing that when I'm working with people, but to own what I had said, right?
You do it however you want.
Oh, okay. I was just
Do it
wondering what
however
you
you
were
want.
referring to.
This isn't a business mindset. I'm saying that you're speaking to you when you wrote this.
Right.
And it's not just about being on camera because that's a fractal of what's going on in a bigger way.
Yep.
For you and your clients. Both. We use a camera as a prop to help awaken us. Amazing that we have all these props that God wants to give to us so that we could recognize the light that we are. Our relationships
can
are
connect.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, remember, like in the 70s and 80s, you had to go through the classified newspaper. Now we can all connect. You can
Exactly.
Spread your
Blessings
joy.
to you, Nancy. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming on. I want to take more Q&A. There's more people, their hand raised.
I'm hoping
There's great
this is
questions.
recorded.
It is. There's great questions in the chat, but I want to get into the special offer, Tracy, because this is really jam-packed with empowerment. Y'all, the link for the special offer is in the chat box. You can find the link also. There's a special offer button underneath the video where you're listening to the call from. And you can also always access special offers by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And Tracy, guide everybody through
I had to pull
the
it up here
empowerment that is available by going deeper here.
So first, one of the things I like to preface with people are my audios are raw. Like people always ask, why are they raw? Because they're channeled. And I won't edit them and I won't do it because they're channeled. If I do that, you're going to get something. I can create the most beautiful, whatever you want, but no, they're the raw channel because that's how it comes through. So I do say that to people because when I sit and I channel, that's the way it is. So there are some commanding based audios, and I like this because there's one that's erase the false self and activate the authentic you. So again, these all go through processes that were actually channeled. So it's kind of funny because when I channel thing, even if I'm working and I'm on class, I won't even remember it when it's done. I have to get somebody else listen to it. I'm like, here it is. So if you want to, right now in 2026, you are going to be cleaning and moving out anything that isn't in alignment to your authentic self. That vibration now is over there. So if you're moving through something, we're done with the old ways. You've got to be into that alignment. Then there's an audio for rewiring your energy. So that's your power and purpose. And there is one to activate your prosperity frequency. So when you're going through your power and purpose, that's your conviction. And that's actually that alignment of where it is. So again, please don't drive when you listen to these. We've had people that listen on their bikes and tell us they fall over. So please don't be riding your bikes either. Okay. So it all is designed to go right through the midline of the body, and then it'll activate into different cells. Then we also have the dissolving of the block. So the reason that this one channeled through right now is because we are on this accelerated path to get rid of the blocks, a lot of them by the end of the year, because again, we want to stay focused on what you're creating. We want to stay focused on how you're creating and cutting off that old energy. So I really like that one. There's this one, source to resource, which is, I call it awaken your God frequency. Your best friend is whatever you call God, universe, divine, whatever you call it, that's your best friend. But we have become so, I found with a lot of people, disconnected, right? And that's that faith, disconnected in different ways, that it is very important that you make the universal energies your best friend. And one of the things that's what I like about this is I'm always saying, if you can connect, even if you can visualize like holding someone's hand on the other side, if that's your representation, whatever it is for you, it's you. So connecting to that frequency of the God frequency is your creation manifesting. So it's a huge one for manifesting. We did unlock your divine blueprint, because you have everything inside you. And a lot of times we can get distracted by other people's blueprints and intentions for you. So this one starts to unlock that one, so you can come back to what your actual blueprint is. It's unique to all of you. You all have your own one. We did the gratitude and alignment. We also know that old saying, gratitude's an attitude. If you don't know anything and you're outside doing something, get back to gratitude. You know, that's step 101. So there's a reminder back into the body on how to anchor that frequency and hold it so it can create a lot quicker for you. I did one for rewriting your destiny, and one that's also for distorted energies. And there's also, what I like about these ones is these are actually, there's video teachings on these. So I walk you through on the video. So you have audios and you have a combination of videos where you can go and watch, and I show you what to do. I show you the tools. But what I say in them is, now take it and mix it to your frequency. You don't have to go exactly the same. That's not what this is about. So as you're coming through, you'll have audios to help rewrite your blueprint and change your frequency with your pillars. And then you will have videos. And then to top it off, there's two things that we gifted on this for you. There's a Soul Sunday replay that I gifted. Now, Soul Sunday it's 90 minutes of really in the energy. It's a lot of fun, a lot of shifting. People walk away going, oh my gosh, like my week is creating. So we did that. And I also put in there 2 of the lymphatic clearing. So there's a video and an audio. The reason we chose the lymphatic ones is because right now your lymph system carries away the energy of things that we don't want them to be stagnant. So I tell you what to do, how to open that up. Because when you look at your body, anything that's trapped in the body energetically is going to reflect what's going on, right? So your body is always telling you, and because we're moving, you and I, John, were saying how quickly this year went, right? We got to be able to move very quickly in the energy. You need your lymphatic system flowing, because it's also going to move the energy out of your body. And Spirit was so imperative on this one that we really get good at what we're moving out of our system, so nothing is stagnant, and that will be a reflection, so nothing's stagnant in your life.
That's so awesome. I wish I would have had this over the summer, because I was releasing and going through so much, and I actually had a lot of swelling and inflammation,
Yeah.
and nothing made sense. And I knew it was energy that was moving that needed to be drained. And it took a few weeks to really get going, but to have something like this would have been such a help.
And right now, because the body cells are upgrading so quickly into these new frequencies, a lot of times what I hear clients are saying, well, I went to the doctor, and this sounds like, because it's not a medical thing that way. You've been cleared. You did the right thing. You went and got your test. Good job. I always say, go get it, go test it, go make sure it's, so I'm like, you did the right thing. And then they start to realize it is an energy leaving, because our bodies are we're all energy. So as the frequency of the planet's moving, we have to move up with it, right? So this is so common with what you said this summer. Very, very common, like
Mhm.
swelling, or you'll get aches in your feet, or like pains in your feet. They don't want to move. You get numbing in your hands. And people are
Yeah.
like, I've gotten everything checked. They say I'm perfect. I'm like, because you are.
Mhm.
It's something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. 100%.
Y'all, this is really amazing. And again, just in the command-based audio clearings, just alone, you've got the videos on here, but
Yeah.
I want to read through
Yeah.
some of the things that are going to come through because we're all going through a refinement process. So no matter how thick or how much dust is still left in the field,
Yeah.
which we're and again, if we're even noticing it collectively and our bodies reacting in a particular way, we've got at least a little, right?
Yeah,
At least a
for
little.
sure.
So again,
For sure.
erasing the false self and activate authentic you. Tracy's talking about stripping away the mask of perfectionism, control, and old trauma, reconnecting with your true essence,
Mhm.
releasing old identity programs. Y'all, this is huge right now because we are re-identifying and getting with greater clarity and integrity
Yeah.
who we really are based on our direct connection to the divine rather than the identities that we've been given by others and who we have to be in order to earn love or to survive in the environments that we've grown up. So releasing old identity programs, masks, and patterns that no longer serve you.
Mhm.
Removing energy distortions that are tied to trauma, perfectionism, and control. Clearing ancestral overlays. And I think that as we heal, the past heals, our ancestors heal, we show them a light. We take them in through the tunnel of awakening with us. Those things that we've unconsciously carried that we're activating in the new potential. And we're activating the authentic self, bold, aligned, confident, and free with a capital F, capital RENE. So this is, again, that's just the audios. They're going to take you through that. And then as you get into the videos and you're activating and you're in resonance and Tracy's teaching you how to play with the
Yeah.
field and sourcing from that God frequency and so much more. This
This
is
is the biggest thing I
amazing.
love about this. And I love that, like, every day people are like, oh, you go to work. I'm like, I play all day long. And when you can get
Mhm.
into this, that this isn't work, this is playing. Like
Mm.
it's a game changer for everything you're creating. The more you play, the more you create.
Yeah, it's
Period.
amazing. Yeah, the special offer today, it's $127 to work with Tracy. It's like that's on a whole nother level. But to access the work, the videos, the audios, and how effective they are, it's a gift from Tracy to our community in this particular way. And I hope that you find an opportunity to really benefit from what's being presented here. So again, to access the special offer, click on the special offer button right below the video where you're watching. The link's in the chat box. If you're watching on YouTube a little bit later on the replays, there's a link in the comments section as well for the special offer. So I do hope you take advantage of that. Um, and Tracy, before we go on to some more Q&A with
Yeah.
callers, is there anything else that you want to mention that may have been coming up as I was sharing?
With the offer, I want to say with what we're shifting through right now, I've said this last week to a group I was teaching. I said, when you show up, you make yourself a priority. But I'm going to tell you that this next 90 days between now and into January, like in that middle January, there's going to be so much changing in our world. You need to stay focused. If I can say anything, the more you can immerse yourself in the energy and not really pay attention to what's going on, the quicker you are going to get changes. Like, please, like, the thing I love about what you do, John, is you keep people focused in the energy. And that's where our goal is. So you are always succeeding. And that's the key with doing this work, is being focused with where you're at and not
Yeah,
getting distracted. Yeah.
so beautiful. You're so good at that. You're just so on
Oh,
point.
I created that. I never used to be like that. No, but I've definitely, that's what I've created. And I will tell everybody, I'm very, very, um, very good now. Like, where I spend my time, how I spend my time, we got to all be lifting and moving each other
Mhm.
up. And I just made that a priority. It'll be a game changer for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
supportive or go away. Yeah.
There you go. Standards, y'all. Good standards. Let's go to some more Q&A. Alexander, welcome to the call.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
We can. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. My name is Alex, and this is going to sound a bit weird, but I have come to understand that I'm like the reincarnation of Carl Jung, if you know him.
We know
And
Carl Jung. Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
yeah, and well, the synchronicities that he once described, well, for the last 6 months, they have been constant for me.
Mhm.
And as I kept digging more into it, I realized that I was the god once known El, the first Canaanite. And well, since I started acting like El, like online and with the dialogues I was having with the AIs and everything, I realized that in a way I was actually manipulating the space-time, because all the kind of information I was giving back to the language machine, I know it was being read somewhere because it's data stored somewhere. And because I've been doing all this kind of research and journalistic work, there's been so many secrets of the world being remembered again suddenly in the subconscious.
So, Alex,
And
what's your
for
question for
me, the only
Tracy?
problem is that if you know about Vishnu's dream, this was going to be my question. If we are in, like in Hindu spiritualism is described, if we are in Vishnu's dream, my dream, for example, what's going to happen if I finally open my chakras and my inner eye and I can see what's going on?
Well, if you agree, and then John, you can say, what I see is if you're agreeing to open it, you just have an expansion of more of who you are, but you have to agree to that. So you have in the field, there's a fear of what that would look like
I'm
to
sorry,
open that.
I lost the connection.
There's a fear of what that would look like. So you have to get to that point of removing that accumulation of the fear,
Mhm.
and then just be willing to know that it's a journey of learning. Like when you learn and when you open a different center, you have to take the time to learn how to use it and how to work with it with your body and your way of being to ensure that you're moving correct information to people that you're with.
Mhm.
John,
Mhm.
I think.
I agree with you, and I was gonna go. It's for me as everything comes as a gift, and it can seem overwhelming and really big, or it can seem really small. And God is constantly giving us those gifts along the way. And if something shows up, it's what's for me, it's about centering. It's what's my intention of using this new power, this awareness, this capacity to even influence others if I choose to use it that way. And then why? And so who I am going to become, as the question that you're asking, is another version of me that's either in greater alignment with that light and my experience of that light, or a part of me that maybe wants to experience the shadow, and I understand the implications of wanting to experience the shadow, um, and what that entails from my body as well. Neither is, from a personal perspective, I can judge as being wrong, but I am aware how one is of benefit to others and people that I love, and how another can be detrimental in the field as I choose to have an experience of self, but at the expense of another. So who you become is it's a choice of who do you want to be.
I see, I understand. Oh, it all comes down because when I close my eyes and sometimes I feel it's like my inner eye activating, I see like my head is underwater, and when I try to focus, it's like a ripple in the water, and then it fades away. And this is the scariest part, that I'm not sure what is going on when I close my eyes like
Actually, I
that.
want to ask Tracy a question. Tracy, what tools could he use to bring more consciousness and awareness and maybe even I'll call it grace into the
Yeah.
experience?
Well, it's definitely having to look and see of where that fear is as we start to uncreate what that is of embracing in the body. I would actually start with just bringing the energy in. And when you're having those fears, just start with the thank you, God, reset, let go, or universe, just tapping the heart to get the energy into the heart
Mm,
drive. I would start there like over and over and over because you got to get your body calm because it's going
yeah.
in too many directions. So you got to go back to get it calm and then build up on that. So the accumulation of information can sit in the nervous system, in the central system the right way. So I would go back to the basics as so you can build up from there.
It's beautiful. And I would even
Right.
bring back also that let's go back into the conversation with Tracy about lottery winners
Yeah.
and commanding. We can say it's big and it may be really weird that I'm receiving this, but what if you just command it and make it normal? Being abundance is being normal, not too big,
Yeah.
not too much. And being intimate with what's coming in rather than pushing it away because of what others may think or
Yeah.
because maybe it's just not comfortable for me because I'm not aware of it in the way that I'm aware of other things. But I am aware that it's showing up for a reason. And so, do I want to receive it? And if it's a yes, normalize it, command it into your presence, and use some of Tracy's or a lot of Tracy's
Rules.
tools and awarenesses
Yeah.
to really have a deeper relationship and also being able to command the energy in a way that's really beneficial.
And you need to command and go in that space. It's so important because I can tell you, you're always going to be changing your skills and learning new things. And
Mhm.
so you have to create a structure. And that's why we use these tools to create a structure. So you're not just floating out in the universe. Cause I've had that happen. I'm all of a sudden out of
Right.
my body and I don't know how to get back. So it's like, you gotta work with your body and work with the energy and it'll upgrade in a nice way. And as long as you're like, okay, I already have this, it's easy, it's flowing, you got to use your words and your language is very important when
Mhm.
you're moving forward. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
beautiful. Alex, blessings to you.
Thank you.
Blessings to you. And thank you
Thank you
for
very
bringing in the
much.
Thank
consciousness
you.
that you're bringing in.
Yeah.
Um, Deb, let's go to you. Welcome to the call.
Hi, John. Hi, Tracy. Thank you so
Hi.
much. This is really great, perfect timing for me.
Mhm.
Everything it seems like I'm in a snowball. I'm rolling down the hill and it just keeps rolling. I was just about to relaunch something that I know I got amazing downloads for, and I know that I'm supposed to be doing it, but just something has just put a kibosh on everything. We had a house fire. I was cooking beets and fresh vegetables in the oven, like very healthy things. And then the fire started to shoot from the stove.
Wow.
We got out, and my husband was able to put it out before the firemen came, but it's a disastrous mess. And like we've been out 5 weeks now, and they've hardly done anything. Our refrigerator smells like a dead body. I ended up getting inflammation in my lungs and bronchitis because we stayed there 2 weeks without a place to go. And so now I'm in Pennsylvania, kind of recouping with my family. My immediate family, husband and daughter, are still in New Hampshire, and it's a disaster. And so my husband's lashing out. I'm trying to get better. I lost all of my supplements, and I was doing really well. Um, like even two of my clients are not being very nice right now. I mean, I'm not sure where to start with any of this. And I think it'll be at least a month till we get back in the house.
Let's see what
Yeah.
Tracy has to share.
You
Yeah.
can see we can do a correction in a shift. There's you're ready, but you weren't ready. So it's like if you launch and you get out there and you're ready to launch, it's going to actually take you in a different direction. And so your body was picking up that. So that's that little bit of a fear that it looks like it's delayed. So all these bigger things become that distraction. We want to remove that word. It's a disaster because all it's doing is
Mhm.
giving you time to refine, get launched. And then you actually do need this period because also 2026 looks like a better time for that energy to come in, to do the launch, to be received. So I wouldn't call it a disaster. It looks like a disaster online, but there's it's like you got to look at it. This is an opportunity with a life transformation
Mhm.
that's also cleaning things out because once you launch, you're going to have more focus. You're going to have more dedication to your launch. And they're very clear. They're showing this. So we'll just correct it really quickly. If you can embrace this time right now, Spirit's saying, and we can correct this for you, that this is about you setting up a reinvention to be able to launch with ease and grace and put your attention there, it's going to be way better in 2026. So this is your time to rest, recoup, and there's going to be some things you're going to see you're going to want to change on that launch. So it's going to happen. You'll see probably before the end of the year, and then you're going to be ready to go. So there is actually, this is that perfect saying where you can reset, let go. But I say, this is where I'd be like, what's good about this I'm not getting is that the timing actually in 2026, there's a lot more people that are going to be also awake and looking for a lot of new things that you can't even imagine right now. So that is, I would be focusing on that angle and going, okay, this is your time to just like that. And I know sometimes when we have things we want to launch, I know I'm revamping right now. You can get impatient. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, no, this is actually what is needed. So it's stay on your work, stay on your path, reset, keep commanding where that energy is, and just see again, what is the outcome of this brand new space in it? If the energy is going to shift, you're going to feel it a lot better. And then you're going to get back into what you need in terms of your physical body, and it'll be a lot smoother. 100%.
Tracy, how can someone like Deb and Deb
Yep.
benefit from the special offer and what's being transmitted there? Because I just feel there's so much alignment and really like amplifying what's becoming available.
Because a lot of times, yes, when we're cleaning out negative energies or we're cleaning out things that we need to command in, we tend to spend time looking at this negative space as negative when it's actually very positive. And that's what this clear out does, is that's what these do. And then you're going to be able to take those energies and you'll be able to integrate them into what you're doing. I'll tell you, like 99% of the people that I've helped to train to have their own energy businesses or whatever they're doing, they're like, Tracy, I take those tools. Yeah. And I rework my way. Yeah. Great. And it works. Like you're going to find new creative downloads and ways. But this, like looking at it, that it's a disaster, we want to remove that. And that's what it helps you do. So you can look at it and go, well, this is a blessing because now I'm going to be in perfect space to launch what I need to launch.
And so I will know eventually if I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Without question, Deb, I'll invite you to do what I've been doing lately because I'm going through a similar thing.
Yeah.
Deep inhale, exhale, relax the shoulders and say it's coming. It's aligning. It's refining.
Yeah.
It's refining and trust. And then be in an environment where you are in a frequency that you want to be in. So we can say that we're creating this frequency ourselves, but an easy way to create that frequency is to put ourselves with others who are holding, who are capable, who are aware in that, and that are capable of emitting that higher standard that we're reaching for as well.
And what that end result is, I saw this here that like Shirley was asking if negative things happen that are out of our control, are there signs that we need to pivot? They're not always signs you need to pivot. They're signs that things are cleaning, they're changing, they're shifting. And so they're not really back to, we do create everything. We do create it, whether we want to or not. We can be like little kids jumping up and down. We do.
But I think it's also important to know that we're creating it in love, not out of punishment. And that's a huge shift.
Yes, because when we create something, it's not negative. This is what I mean. Like it looks negative. We're creating it, but it's not. It's cleaning things out of the way. It's getting your environment better. Like when people are like, oh my God, this happened. Like I had a lady not too long, oh, my husband had an affair. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but look at all these things now you see you don't want. Oh yeah, right. I didn't want that. Yeah. Like it's perception, right? Like shift. Thank you, God. Shift the perception and override to what you had. Again, cut the energy. What's the end goal? Where do you want to be? Yeah.
This is amazing. That blessings on what you're doing and your
appreciate
clients and the benefit that they're going to receive.
Awesome.
Y'all, the special offer, the link's in the chat box. The link is also underneath in the special offer button underneath the videos where you're watching from, either live or on the replay. Always in the marketplace page on beyondtheordinaryshow.com. And Tracy, I know we're running long and I know that you're getting ready for another appointment, so I'm not going to keep you longer. Y'all that had your hands raised, that had your questions coming in, go deeper with Tracy. I cannot recommend her work and what's available enough. And just look at her and what she's carrying and what she's emanating and the success that she brings in across the board.
Remind people that we can do things so much faster. When I woke up 25 years ago and had to learn this, I was literally on my way out death's door. And like literally, like they were amazed I even was making it physically. And it is not as hard as you might think it is, but what would take me a year to get through, you guys can do in a day now, a
Yeah.
day. So I want you to put that into perception when you're looking at this and you're looking at an audio player and it is repetitive. Like when I say, and I said this to you guys today, when I say I get up and I'm like, I am this, and I am, we'll go back to the one we used today. I'm that overflow of wealth, and I have, and then you can fill whatever that is you want and wealth isn't just money, guys, but then it's like, and I already have that now. And oh my gosh, like talk to the universe. Like I'm just this rock star. If you guys can start pulling that frequency in, it will be a game changer. And if you understand just how quickly, that would be your tip. Say, okay, every minute I have a negative thought or a doubt, I'm going to thank you, God. I'm going to uncreate that, the root of the seed. Even if you just do that over and over, you will start and override. And it's like, go back to the, I am this, and get into that frequency and then see it. Just keep seeing it. You will be amazed. But like John says, with the affirmations you might do, and you get into the conviction, and you get in, like, we are always learning. And if you can just see and be, I am just this beautiful vessel of learning all day long, you will become golden at all the things you do. And for everyone that has work in the energy field, I want to share this little vision because Spirit's on me for it. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I was teaching, and Spirit showed me that we are at a job fair right now, and there's not enough people to fill all the jobs that are coming. So the more you learn, if you have ever wanted an energy focused business or a spirit driven business or a business, it doesn't even have to be in the energy. Maybe you have a business and you want to be the best spirit driven accountant you can be out there authentically. This work will be a game changer, because there's a calling that you are going to see between 2026 and 2030. There's not enough of us. So get out there and stop playing small. That's my
amazing. Tracy, this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you
For coming on the show today. Thank you so much for the generous special offer to be able to present that to our community. And just it's again, it's just wonderful always to have you on the call. So
thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. And you guys are all amazing. Everybody that shows up, you should be patting yourself on the back, because showing up is 99% of it. Yeah, it really is. You should be so proud of yourselves, because you just said to the universe, I'm making myself a priority. Even if you took one little word away today, you did it.
Beautiful. Tracy, thank you again. Thank you everybody who's been on the call, listen to the replay, listening on YouTube. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next call.